There was a painting above my bed that changed every night while I slept. Every night it would change. This is a story from a friend of mine. T's been a friend for years now, and he grew up in a big house. It was filled with lots of art. You know, the type of art that most people would understand because they did have millions of dollars to spend on it. But my friend did. It was normal for him. He just saw it as normal, living in a house full of paintings and sculptures. One night, while laying in his bed, he noticed something strange about the painting above him. It depicted two men and a woman laughing. The three of them were enjoying themselves and looked very happy. For some reason, it seemed like the people in the picture weren't quite right. Their smiles were ever so slightly wider than he remembered. Their eyes didn't seem the same either. Something about them just looked different. At first, my friend thought maybe he was just going crazy. Maybe he had too much money. Maybe it was just too much of a comfortable life that was driving him to see things that were really there. But then, the next morning, he woke up again, and it happened once again. The same painting hung above his bed, but it was different. The people in it had smiles that were even wider now, almost like they were grinning ear to ear. Their eyes seemed more intense. My friend tried to ignore it, tried to pretend that he hadn't seen anything at all, but it became harder and harder each day as the changes became more apparent. Soon, their smiles were so wide that it stretched their faces unnaturally. Then their eyes, they became completely black, soulless voids that stared back at him. It scared my friend a little bit, but he still tried to pretend that everything was okay. He told himself it was just a trick of the light or something, but he knew deep down that this wasn't the case. T could feel it in his gut. Then one day, he woke up and the painting was different. The two men and the woman were still there, but now they were joined by another man. My friend didn't recognize this guy. He had dark skin and wore clothes that were unlike anything anyone would wear nowadays. He looked primitive, like he belonged in a museum or something. My friend was confused. Who was this person? How long had he been in the painting? Why didn't he remember seeing him before? He wanted to ask these questions, but of course, no one could answer them because they were just inanimate objects. But then my friend started to notice more things. As the days went on, he saw the new man looking at him. Sometimes he would catch him staring at him while he slept. Other times, he would wake up and the man would be directly looking at him. He would have this satisfied look on his face, like he had just consumed the best meal in the world. My friend found this extremely unsettling, but he knew he couldn't just rip the painting off the wall and get rid of it. It was an expensive piece of art, and besides, it was his father's. His dad had passed away when he was young, leaving my friend with a family fortune and a big house. He loved looking through his father's things. It made him feel connected to him. Plus, there were tons of valuable items in the house, which meant that my friend never had to worry about money again. He had everything he ever wanted or needed. So, removing the painting wasn't really an option. He tried to ignore it, tried to act like nothing had happened, but he couldn't take his mind off of the picture. It became a source of constant stress. He couldn't sleep at night. He couldn't eat during the day. The painting was driving him insane. Then, one day, he decided enough was enough. He called up a priest and asked him if he could come and bless his house. Maybe it was a demon or something, some kind of entity possessing the painting. My friend wasn't sure what it was, but he knew he needed help. The priest came over and examined the painting. He crossed himself several times and sprinkled holy water on the floor around it. Then he turned to my friend and said, "You shouldn't worry. There's nothing here that I can sense." Of course, my friend was skeptical. Just because the priest couldn't detect anything didn't mean that it wasn't there. So he asked him to do it again, to look harder and try to find out what was going on. The priest agreed, but after doing so, he simply said, "I don't know what's happening, but whatever it is, it's not evil." Before leaving, the priest told my friend to call a medium instead. They might be able to help him. My friend thanked him for coming and watched as he drove away. Then he picked up his phone and called a medium. She came over the next day and immediately went straight for the painting. She examined it for a long time without saying a word. My friend stood there awkwardly until she finally spoke. "Who painted this?" "My father. He got it painted shortly before he died." My friend replied. "Do you know him?" The medium shook her head. "No, I don't. But this painting, it's powerful. I can feel the energy radiating off of it." She turned to my friend and said, "Your father, he didn't paint this picture. These are his friends. They paid him a visit one last time before they moved on." My friend was confused. "What do you mean, moved on where?" The medium walked closer to the painting and gestured towards the new man. "He's your father, isn't he? He traveled a lot in his younger days. Do you know anything about his past?" My friend thought for a moment. "He told me once that he had a son in Africa. Said he had to give him up for adoption because he wasn't born in the right place. If he stayed there, he probably would have ended up dead. I think that was his other son." The medium nodded. "Yes, this is him. He returned to say goodbye to his brother. They missed each other a lot, but fate kept them apart." Then she looked at the two other people in the painting. "And who are they?" "I don't know. Some friends, I guess, or lovers. I'm not sure." "No, they're your father's brothers." She pointed at the older man. "Your oldest father left the tribe many years ago to start a new life. Your other father, well, he never left. He stayed with the tribe until his dying days." My friend couldn't believe what he was hearing. He always knew he was adopted, but he never knew his birth parents were part of a tribe somewhere in Africa. Then he looked at the new man in the painting and saw something that made him gasp. The man's chest, it was covered with tribal tattoos. The medium saw the surprise on my friend's face and smiled. "Yes, that's correct. Your fathers, they are part of a very special tribe, one that has a deep connection to the spiritual realm. They can see things others can't. They have a gift." She turned to the painting and said, "Well, this is sad. They couldn't take him with them. I wonder why." My friend didn't respond. He was thinking about what the medium had said. He had a gift. What gift? Was he able to see things that others couldn't? Was that why he saw the changes in the painting? But then he realized something even stranger. He looked at the medium and asked, "Do you see it too?" She followed his gaze and gasped, "No. What have I done?" Before my friend could ask her what she meant, the medium ran out of the house. He looked back at the painting and saw that it had changed yet again. This time, the new man wasn't there anymore. Instead, standing in his place was a little boy. The boy had the same smile as the other two men, but his eyes, they were wide and innocent. My friend felt a connection to the child immediately. He could feel his presence, his spirit, it was reaching out to him. Then he heard the medium scream from outside. He ran to the door and saw her kneeling on the ground. "What happened?" he asked. She looked up at him with tears in her eyes. "I didn't mean to do it, but I just reacted instinctively. Please forgive me." My friend didn't know what she was talking about. "Do what?" "I destroyed the painting, didn't I?" "I'm sorry," she said, sobbing. Confused, my friend walked outside and looked around. And that's when he noticed it. On the ground in front of the house, there were pieces of the painting scattered around. That's when my friend realized what the gift was. The gift was being able to see things that others couldn't, things that were hidden from plain sight. The gift was being able to see the truth.